how I use Facebook. Yeah, Facebook and Ancestry.com to not only find family, but connect with them. I am really happy to do this video. It's going to be totally off the cuff. I had a really great experience that I want to describe and show how if you're looking to find your family and also connect with living relatives, this is a really way to go about it. So welcome to Epic Genealogy. I want to just give my appreciation. I really appreciate it. We just went over 600 subscribers. So thank you for that. If you're not subbed and you like the videos, then throw us not only a like and a comment, but sub. Let's get right into this. So this is where I started with this, and this is a 3-year story in the making, but don't worry, it's not going to take quite that long to actually tell you. So I was looking for the living family of Ciacciopolo family, and down here, Vito. So here, I posted this back in 2019. And it came up in the feed because a new member to the group, see here, we got over 522 members in Descendants of Carini, Sicilia. So real quick, I put that in there because I wanted people to be able to find my group. And this is, I have a few groups, and somebody did find it by searching. Not too many groups for Carini, Sicilia. We're very small, but a very, very substantial group. Somebody was able to find it, and after 3 years, they posted on here. And I do appreciate Laura, who's a distant cugina, for allowing me to do this unedited. So thank you very much. Grazie mille, cugina. What I was saying was I was looking for Vito, who married an Anna Gambino, Vincenzo's sister, but couldn't find him in the Carini record. But I did find one who was born in Carini 1893 and immigrated to Brooklyn. His parents are Pietro and Stella Sabia. The wife is Josephine, and I have the pictures here. So you could see here. So you can see that born in Carini. I posted this 3 years ago, and nobody responded to it until Laura did. Very recently. And she says, "Hey, Mark, I'm new here and searched and found this old post. Are you still wondering about this?" So again, all I know is I'm looking for this Vincenzo. I'm looking about this Vincenzo guy. I don't even remember why I'm looking for that. She gives me some documents, and I'm able to find this Vincenzo, and I had him on a different tree, but I was able to get him onto my tree because I didn't have this information. So what's really cool is she was able to get me the marriage record of Vito Ciacciopolo and Anna Gambino. Anna Gambino is the sorella, or the sister of Vincenzo Gambino, the one that for some reason I'm looking for. And I can't remember anything about this guy. But you're going to think with a name like Vincenzo Gambino, you're going to remember. So with the information she gave me, I was able to add them onto my tree. This particular Vito and Anna Gambino. I start doing a little bit of research because I wanted to get down, because this is Laura's family, and I find this 1950 census for Cleveland, and who just happens to be on this. Now, she's got this Edwin Ciacciopolo, who is her grandfather's brother, I think it is. And you can see here, he's born in, it says Italy, it's Sicily, Carini, Sicilia. He's a laborer in construction. Not a big shock. But I get to the James Gambino. So if you're familiar with the channel, you know that James is an American nickname for Vincenzo. So with a Sicilian accent, at least from the Palermo area, what me and Nona told me, that the C, depending on where it is in the word, is pronounced as a G. So in Vincenzo would be Vincenzo. That was shortened to Jens. So Jens became James. So this James is James or Vincenzo Gambino, who's the guy that I'm looking for. And this is what got me. This is what got me, because you can't forget. I try to get this blown up there for the video. He's a knife grinder. Now, mind you, I have a picture of this guy. I actually used him in one of my videos. So what I'll do is I'll show you that particular video. So this is the thumbnail for the video. So you can see that there's a Vincenzo Gambino knife maker. Now look at the just, this looks like a guy. You see, I'm thinking people, not too many people saw that particular video. So if you haven't seen it, go check that out. Maybe the look of the guy, because he was a little too intimidating in the thumbnail, because at least my first impression when I saw this guy, I was like, holy crap, look at this. Is a tough individual here. He looks to me like Luca Brasi, okay? That was my first impression.
I'm a little worried about this Solozzo fellow. I want you to find out what he's got under his fingernails,
So when I found out, initially when I had done some research 3 years ago and found this Vincenzo and saw that he was a knife maker, I was like, whoa. There was somebody else there that was mentioned to be really good with a knife.
Solozzo is known as the Turk. He's supposed to be very good with a knife, but only in matters of business.
So this was pretty cool. That's not where it ended. So I was now able to, because Laura was able to find my page here on Facebook, of all places. I only use Facebook for family history. So I was able to finally connect with, now I think he is her, Anna Gambino is her great-grandmother, and Vincenzo is the brother. So I was able to finally connect after 3 years because they found my page. But what's also really cool is, see, there's the thumbnail. Look at this. How cool, I'll blow that up. How cool is this? This is one of the knives that Vincenzo made. This knife is like 75, 80 years old. This could go back into the mid-20s. I don't know how to date this, but it's definitely old. And right here is still what's left of the stamp that was on there. So this was pretty cool. So again, he is a knife maker and a knife sharpener. I know there's going to be jokes or there's going to be comments, and you can leave them down below. A Gambino who looks like Luca Brasi and he's good with a knife. I heard things. I heard some things. But Laura was able to get this, and thank you so much for that. This is so cool. So what I was able to do was just a simple Google search, and I was able to find, now they're not in business anymore, unfortunately, because this article is from almost 10 years ago. Personalized service, selection, and great pricing have been made the key to Gambino's success for 58 years. Now, unfortunately, this is this is Vincenzo's great-grandson here. This is Nick Gambino. And what's really cool here, let me blow this up. What's really cool here is we get some story, we get some more context. So according to co-owner Nick Gambino, his great-grandfather, okay, I was right, Vincent Gambino came to America in the 1920s when he was in his late 20s and started Gambino's Cutlery Service. He had he had a truck with knife sharpening equipment, and he used to go to the Central Market, slaughterhouses, grocery stores, and more to sharpen their knives. So here, a little more of the story here. My great-grandfather actually went back and forth to Palermo, Sicilia, that Carini, Sicilia, where mia famiglia, or nostra famiglia, is from, for about 6 years, and then eventually brought his entire family to America. That included his wife and my grandfather, Nick, and great-uncle Vic and great-aunt Mary, said Gambino. Also, Anna Gambino, which kind of started all this. Vincenzo's sons, Nick and Victor, eventually took over Gambino's Cutlery, and within a few years, the business settled in its current location on Broadway Avenue at Maple Heights. Our building was actually Vic's home. See, I love this context. I love the added story to this. All I have is that one picture of him looking like a real bad dude. He looked like a real bruiser. I mean, come on, look at that jawline. He's got to be a boxer or something. This guy is a tough guy. Our building was actually Vic's home, and they sold Christmas trees outside their home for a number of years. Around 1955, they converted the home into the cutlery store. Around 1958, they began selling lawnmowers and handheld equipment. They basically sold everything that had to do with anything that had to do with the yard. This is really, really cool that I was there. Now, unfortunately, they're not in business anymore. So even though they're not in business, I was able to go to Google Earth, and I plugged in the address, and this is actually the building that they operated out of, this little tiny building there in Ohio. So these are really cool. So especially when the building is still standing, because I've done a number of videos where the buildings just weren't there anymore, especially in Missouri. This is actually in Ohio. This is 16143 Broadway Avenue in Maple Heights, Ohio. And it's great that it's still standing, so it gives a little more context, a little more context to the story of Vincenzo Gambino and his family. So this was really cool to see. So so I started with a picture of Vincenzo Gambino. I couldn't even put him on my tree at first, and so I posted. And 3 years later, somebody finds it. How cool is that? And that's what that's it. So if you're interested in doing it, that's how I do it. And I've got many stories like this where people have just gone on to Facebook, typed in, Carini Sicilia or Randazzo Pecoraro, and they find my other groups. So I highly suggest doing this if you want to not only find family, but connect with them. It's been a great way to do that. I've got over 522 members here in my close family group where, that's for, because, obviously that's for people I've actually proven are family. I've got well over 200 in my maternal and my paternal groups. And people can find that just by doing a search of the surname. So I imagine anybody typing in Randazzo Gargaiano, you're going to find me. Those are the names of my mia nonni, Salvador Randazzo and Caterina Gargaiano. So this is just so cool. I love to see the pictures, and this is not an old picture, but this is a picture of something really old. I didn't even imagine that I would be able to get one of Vincenzo's knives. This is really, really cool. I do use Ancestry.com mostly to actually find the names. And so when I'm going down and looking for living relatives to connect with on Facebook or Instagram, I'm able to go through and you want to find death records. So a lot of times the Find a Grave, where you can get, you can go straight to findagrave.com and do a search. A lot of it is here on Ancestry. You do a search and there'll be information, they'll have obituaries in there so you can get grandchildren. And what I usually do is like I meant, like what I had here, the census records. So the census records in 1950 you're going to have his children on there. And so it's easier to then keep looking and find birth records and other records, obituaries and whatnot, and to have their children who may actually still be alive. And then I can do a search for them and find it. So this has been another really great example. I had a lot of fun doing this. I had a lot of fun, going over this and finding this information. So that's going to do it for this video. You want to help find family? Ancestry.com is a great, especially free source. And then once you find them, what you could do is you could do a Facebook group to actually connect with them. So like I mentioned, you just title it, if you're fortunate like me in this respect, that your family maybe, or a part of your family's from a little tiny town. You list that on Facebook, chances are people like Laura are going to find you and you're able to connect that way. So this has been a really, really good way. This has paid off a lot. Again, I don't like Facebook, but it's been really good connecting with families. So that's if you want. So if you're looking to connect with family, Facebook group and Ancestry.com to do the research, great way in order to do that. So that's going to do it for this video. Had a lot of fun doing this. If you've got a similar story where you have found and connected with family, especially if you've got pictures like this, let me know in the comments. I love reading stories like that. And as always, thanks for watching, and you know what to do now.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.